Hello everyone. So today's class on the subject of DSP is ROC, region of convergence. What is region of convergence? In our last class, we have studied that whenever we are transforming a system, whenever we are transforming a discrete time signal that is x of n into its corresponding frequency domain transformation that is x of z, that total transformation is being defined by Z transformation, and Z transformation is simply exactly modification with respect to our DTFT, that is discrete time Fourier transformations. It can be modified to Z transformation for more precious type of frequency domain analysis for any type of discrete time signal. Now, whenever I am converting one signal that is discrete time signal x of n into its corresponding discrete time sequence frequency domain analysis of x of z, certainly some rules are there. Certainly some rules should be followed for that system. That means whenever we are transforming x of n into x of z, the condition is that whenever we are getting that system in terms of frequency domain analysis, it should be, that means the xz should be stable, it should be converges, it should be finite for each and every value of that of the input discrete time signal. So that confidence of that of the system to be defined by stable system, finite system, bounded system, for that condition is that is ROC, that is region of convergence. That means that is defined by a region where the xz should be converge. And how can we define that region of convergence? What is ROC? Normally it can be defined that the region of convergence is nothing but the Z transformation of x of n can be viewed as a Fourier transformation of x of n multiplied by an exponential function that is r to the power n, and the Z transformation may converge even when the Fourier transformation does not exist also. So by defining convergence, it is possible that the Fourier transform may converge when the Z transformation does not. For the Fourier transformation to converge, the sequence must have finite amount of energy that is defined by summation of n equals to minus infinite to plus infinite summation of x of n r to the power minus n. Its value should be finite. That's why its value of mod of this one should be less than infinity. That means how can we define ROC? ROC is nothing but simply defined as region of convergence. The region of convergence means that is simply defined as the range of z, the values of z, or the region of z. That means we have to define certain range of region of z for which the Z transformation of for that particular discrete time signal should be a finite value, should be a summable value, or should be converges to a finite value. That means for some point of z, for some region of z, or for the range of z, for some range of z, for which the Z transformation x of z will be finite, summable, or converges to a finite value. That region of z or that values of z is nothing but defined as a ROC, region of convergence. That is the region where xz will be converges. In that way it can be defined as ROC. So how that defined is this one? The power series of that of the Z transformation as it is defined by in that way, that is xz equals to summation of n equals to minus infinite to plus infinite xn into z to the power of minus n, and that can be simply distributed as Lorentz series in mathematical distribution. So whenever we are converting that x of n into x of z, the Lorentz series tells us that therefore the Z transformation represents an analytical function of even points inside the region of convergence, and therefore the Z transformation on all its derivative must be continuous functions of z inside that of the region of convergence. That means whenever we are converting a sequence of x of n into x of z, a discrete time signal x of n into its corresponding Z transformation of x of z, the region is this, therefore Z transformation and all its derivative must be continuous of function. The also function is that the Z transformation x of z and its all derivative, whether it is ddz of x of z or it is ddz2 above x of z2, all should lie inside the region of convergence of Z plane. That's why it will be defined as a region where convergence is satisfied. So in general, the Lorentz series will converge in an annular region of z-plane that is being defined by the circular region or unit circle region for that of z-plane. Whenever it is defined for unit circle, radius is 1, and that is defined as the annular region of that of the z-plane. In that way, it can be defined as. So after defining that Z ROC, you have to define that whenever ROC is being defined, that is defined not only for Z transformation, that is defined only again for Laplace transformation also. Laplace transformation means the frequency domain analysis will be all totally defined in S domain. Now whenever we are converting that S domain into a Z domain, certainly some mapping should be there from S plane to Z plane in terms of stability of a system. S plane means stability is totally dependent on the values of poles, not on zeros. Do you have the concept of poles and zeros? The poles are basically defined as the number of the poles are basically defined as the values of Z or values of S for which xz or xf s will be infinite. The poles is basically defined as the roots of the equation of the denominator. But whenever we are realizing the roots of the equation of the numerator, that is certainly defined as the zeros of that of the function. So whenever I am considering the poles of that of the system, a stable function poles, stable system poles always defined on the left side of S plane. Whenever S plane is there, all the poles should lie on the left side of that of the S plane. The left side of that of the S plane will be defined by the stability system of that of the system. If all the poles of a particular system lies on the left half of S plane, that is stable system. And whenever those poles are mapped to Z plane, that is defined as the interior of Z plane, interior of that of the unit circle. That means whenever a poles of that of the XZ, Z transformation is lying within that Z plane unit circle, that will be defined by a stable system. And outside of that of the Z plane or unit circle, or defined as the right side of the S plane. Basically, right side of S plane simply mapped to outside of that interior, outside of that of the unit circle of that of the Z plane. That is defined as the unstable region. So in that way, map from S plane to Z plane is also being defined. Now, concentrate on that examples of ROC. Suppose we have a function x of n is defined by a to the power of n un. A to the power is simply a function, a is simply a constant. It can have any value and say simply a constant value, and it is defined by the main function as unit step function u of n. Now if I want to find out its Z transformation, how it can be defined? Basically x of z is nothing but defined as summation of x of n z to the power of minus n. That is basically definition of Z transformation. Now in place of x of n, that is input signal, if I put the value of a to the power n un, because that is the input signal here, so we are certainly defined as the summation of n equals to 0 to infinite. Why equals to 0 to infinite? Because it's a unit step function. Unit step function is defined only for the right side values of n, starting from 0 to infinite. So if I put the value of un equals to 1 and the range changes from 0 to infinity, certainly it will be defined in that summation as summation of n equals to 0 to infinite a z inverse whole to the power of n. Now if I put all the values of n there and sum them up by using the equation of infinite GP series, it is simply defined as the value of x of z converges as 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. That is simply simplifies to z by z minus a. Now we are simply using the rule or formula or sectional formula for summation of infinite GP series. Now there is a condition of infinite GP series. That means, what is that? Infinite GP series formula is that whenever the common ratio of that of the GP is less than 1, in that case only, in that case only, the summation of infinite GP series will be summable, and that is the only condition for ROC. That means xz should be summable. So that condition is only there whenever the common ratio is less than 1. So this condition is nothing but defined as the ROC for this particular function. That means a z inverse, that is the common ratio here, should be less than 1. So in that case we can say the value of mod z is greater than mod of a. that is the exterior of that of the z plane of that unit circle having the radius of a. So herefore we can say clearly the ROC for the function of a to the power of n un has 0 at a z equals to 0 and has a pole of a z equals to a, and it has an ROC is at exterior of that of the circle having a radius of 1 a. So that means it's simply ROC will be defined as mod z will be greater than of a, as simple as that. Goes for the next one. Now how can we define the ROCs for different type of systems? Basically whenever it is a stable system, the system will be defined by a stable whenever its impulse function of that of the system, that is summation of k ranges from minus infinite to plus infinite mod of h of k, its value should be finite. That means its value should be less than infinite value, which means that a bounded input will not yield an bounded output. That means whenever system is defined as a stable system, that system is only defined for a B-bow rule. That means for each and every bounded or finite input value of that particular system, the output is also finite and bounded. And that is the only case or condition for which it can be said as a stable system. Otherwise, it will be not a stable system. And a stable system is there, and for that stability, we are defining that ROC. Again, for a causal system also, if a system is said to be a causal system, how it can be defined? A causal system is one in which changes in output does not precede changes in input. That means whatever the changes of output is there, that does not precede the changes of input. That means if the value of x of 1n, a first function, is equal to that of the x of 2 function, x of 2n, for the value of n less than equals to n naught, then the transformation is being done on that of the x1n is simply equals to the transformation is being done on that of the x2n for the same range of n less than equals to infinity, less than equals to. So we can say if the system is a linear time invariant system, that means if it is a LTI system, it will be a causal function, and for a causal function it don't have any type of value of n equals to negative. That means for all the values of n equals to negative, the function, impulse function, is always equals to 0. That means we can say its value is equals to 0 each, and the value of each of n equals to 0 for the value of n is less than 0. Now after that completion of that of the examples, now we are realizing some properties of ROCs also. What are the different type of properties of region of convergence? The first one is the region of convergence, or ROC, simply for a given discrete time signal transfer function is a disk or annulus, or simply defined as a ring which contains no poles. That means if that disk or that annular region or that circle contains any type of pole, it should not be defined by a ROC. If you want to define its ROC, it should not be confined by its pole value. Why? Because whenever we are putting the value of pole, the value of x of z certainly equals to infinite, because poles are nothing but roots of that denominator. Now if I put any root of that of the denominator in that equation, certainly the value of denominator will be equals to 0, and certainly the value of x of z will be infinite. So the ROC should not contain the value of poles there. It can be either greater than or less than that of the pole, but exactly we cannot put the value of pole. So value of pole does not contain the value of ROC. In general, the ROC is not unique, and the particular ROC in any given case depends on whether the system is causal or anti-causal function. Depending upon that nature, whether the system is causal or anti-causal function, depending upon that, ROC can be changes, unique values. Now if the ROC includes the unit circle, then the system is bounded input, bounded output, stable system. Certainly when a system is said to be a stable system, because when a system is said to be a stable system, whenever the force of that of the system will be interior of that of the unit circle or circle having certain radius. So whenever ROC includes that of the unit circle, certainly the system can be defined as a bounded input, bounded output, stable system. And the third one, if the ROC extends outward from the pole, with the largest but for infinite magnitude, then the system has a right-sided impulse response. If the ROC extends outward from that of the pole, if for a particular pole the poles are there, and if the ROC extends are greater than that of the values of poles with the largest value, but it should be a finite value, the magnitude, then the system will be defined as a right-sided impulse function. Otherwise, it will be a left-sided impulse function. Next one, if the ROC extends outward from the pole with the largest magnitude and there is no pole at infinity, and the system is said to be a causal system. Whenever a system is said to be a causal system, certainly the value of n equals to 0 or positive values of 0. That means positive values of n. So if the ROC extends outward from that of the pole, if ROC extends outward from that of the pole with the largest magnitude, if we have largest magnitude of that of the ROC outward from that of the pole, then there is no pole at infinite. Certainly the system will be a causal function. As simple as that. Now what is the next point? If the ROC extends inward from the pole, inward, that means the interior of that of the pole, with the smallest or magnitude or non-zero value of that of the magnitude, then the system will be anti-causal function. Simply just opposite to that of the previous. If the system is causal, the ROC extends outward from the pole with the largest magnitude, and if the system is anti-causal, ROC extends inward from the pole with the smallest magnitude. In that way they are simply defined as. So we can say, as simple as that, we can say the simple logic is that if a system is a finite causal system, if a function is a finite causal signal, certainly the value of n equals to 0 and positive values, certainly the power of z will be positive values. That means in that case z should not be equals to infinite. Sorry, if the value of a system is a causal system, certainly the value of n is 0 or positive, certainly the power of z should be a negative of n. That means power of z will be negative. That means in that case the value of z should not be infinite, should not be 0. So you can say ROC for a finite causal system is simply that z should not be equals to 0. Just opposite to that, if a system is an anti-causal system, certainly the value of z should not be equals to infinite. And if it is extends from finite to infinite values of causal and anti-causal system, certainly the value of z should be greater than a for that of the causal system, and certainly the value of ROC will be less than of a for an anti-causal system. Exterior of that of the circle, that is for infinite causal system, and interior of that of the circle having any type of radius, that will be a anti-causal system, ROC. Next one, if you need stability, then the ROC must contain the unit circle. If I want to stable of that of the system, if I want to check the stability of that of the system, the ROC should contain the unit circle. It should be contained with that of the unit circle of that of the system. And if you need a causal system, and then the ROC must contain infinite, and the system function will be a right-sided sequence. Certainly, if the system is a causal system, certainly the value of n will be positive. That means the power of n will be z will be negative. That means it should not equals to 0. That means exterior of that of the 0. That means ROC must contain infinite. So in that way the system function will be a right-sided sequence. So in that way different aspects of ROCs are there are for different values of signals depending upon the nature. If it is a causal system, can be finite, it can be anti-causal system, that is finite. If it is a causal system for infinite values, it can be a anti-causal function of infinite values. One more thing is that it can be system is a mixture system. That means it can be a double-sided system also, where the negative values of n as well as positive values of n are also there. So in those cases we have to sum up the ROCs to get the final ROCs of that of the case. So these are the different type of properties of that ROC. So simply logic is that if I want to find out any type of ROC, simply you have to find out its Z transformation, and we have to check whether the Z transformation is valid for what values of Z. Those values of Z for which xz is finite, that values of is simply defined as ROCs for that particular function. Otherwise, it will be not defined by ROC, and the system will be a totally unstable system. And next one, if we need a anti-causal system, then the ROC must contain the origin and the system function will be a left-sided sequence. As simple as that, just opposite to that of the previous one. And if you need both stability and causality, all the poles of that of the system function must inside that unit circle. The unit circle will be defined in that way. That means system will be defined here as a double-sided system. For causal system, it will be exterior of that of the circle. For anti-causal system, it will be interior of that of the circle. And if it is a double-sided circle, it will simply defined by the exterior for lower circle and interior for that upper circle. That means it is simply defined as the belt or ring portion, like in that of the figure. That is the ROC, defined ROC for that particular double-sided sequence. So in that way, the different aspects of ROC, region of convergence, how it can be defined, and how the ROCs of a particular function, with depending upon the situation of that of the system, can be defined. So in that way, we have to define by ROC. But one point to remember very carefully, whenever we are defining or we are converting, we are simply calculating the values of Z transformation of any type of discrete signal. We have to follow, it's a must rule, we have to follow the values of ROC. It should be defined. ROC should be defined. Without the definition of ROC, Z transformation is totally invalid. Okay. Thank you for today's class.